Welcome here from Gangtok, Sikkim, North India. Because Sikkim is bordered by Nepal, Bhutan, China, all squashed in here. And that mountain there in the back, snow covered, you can see here and there through the clouds. Unluckily, it's not perfect. There's a big cloud lying there, so obscuring the view. But that is just to need to the right way, Kangchin Yunga, ultimately mountain, and it forms a border between Nepal, that is, and India, and it is the third highest mountain in the world. So there's only two higher than that. That is Everest, understandably, the highest, and then K2, which is second, and then Kangchenjunga over here. So this is understandably in the Himalaya mountain range. Hopefully, maybe as I record, the clouds might move. That big cloud is kind of moving, but I think you can see, if you look carefully, you can see kind of the mountain there with the snow. There's some peaks over there, over there, and then over there as well. You can see the snow cover of the mountain. This is very, very imposing. We went 2 days ago to Tongolek, and a little bit higher. We were then higher, so it's a more direct view kind of on the mountain, and especially as well during, as you know, during a certain time of the day with light refraction, then things seems closer than they are, and then like in the morning we went past, it was beautiful, but when we came back later in the afternoon, it was like really this imposing mountain standing over everything. It was really very beautiful. So let's with that in the background. Now it's a huge cloud covering it. Okay, that is not yes, but like Moses on the mountain and God appearing to him. Remember that while this chapter we're going to read is still God speaking to Moses, and Moses is on top of the mountain, and there's this cloud, right? This cloud that is covering it now. Like that's the third tallest mountain. I'm sure it's taller than Zion here, where Moses was and God was meeting with him. But even though this mountain is a lot taller, it's still covered in the clouds. The cloud is still covering it, and so the same kind of, if you look kind of even underneath the cloud, then you can see some of the mountain sticking out. So just imagine yourself as well, this Moses, God there on the mountain, and Moses finding all of this. And okay, right, so there's just nearly a child who kicked over this thing, and other people recording as well. So just imagine yourself as Moses on top of the mountain in a cloud covering it. So even the third tallest mountain in the world, well, can be covered by clouds, like now in this case. Right now, I mean, in a certain sense, you can think of the lower the mountain, because clouds are not that low, right? Depending again on the kind of clouds. But yes, no mountain is too high. Okay? No mountain is too high for God to ultimately cover it, and like it's happening now in this beautiful view. So let's read in this chapter with that in mind, with all of this in mind, imagining yourself in that, not imagine yourself in it like, oh, get on your knees and then pray and then imagine a cloud cover a mountain or something like that. But this is like God covering the mountain, Moses speaking, God giving, and this law is given to Moses on top of the mountain with the cloud cover. Exodus chapter 21, verses 1 to 36 from the ESV version. Now these are the rules that you shall set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, and the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he comes in single, he shall go out single. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and the children shall be her master's, and he shall go out alone. But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him to God, and he shall bring him to the door of the doorpost. And his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall be his slave forever. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has broken faith with her. If he designates her for his son, he shall deal with her as with a daughter. If he takes another wife to himself, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, or her marital rights. And if he does not do these three things for her, she shall go out for nothing, without payment of money. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. But if he did not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place to which ye may flee. But if a man wilfully attacks another to kill him by cunning, you shall take him from my altar, that he may die. Whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put to death. Whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him, shall be put to death. Whoever curses his father or his mother shall be put to death. When men quarrel and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and the man does not die but takes to his bed, then if the man rises again and walks outdoors with his staff, he who struck him shall be clear. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall have him thoroughly healed. When a man strikes his slave, male or female, with a rod, and the slave dies under his hand, he shall be avenged. But if the slave survives a day or two, he is not to be avenged, for the slave is his money. When men strive together and eat a pregnant woman, so that their children come out, but there is no harm, the one who hit her shall surely be fined, as the woman's husband shall oppose on him, and he shall pay as a judge determine. But if there is harm, then you shall pay life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. When a man strikes the eye of his slave, male or female, and destroys it, he shall let the slaves go free because of his eye. If he knocks out the tooth of his slave, male or female, he shall let the slave go free because of his tooth. When an axe gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall not be liable. But if the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has been warned but has not kept it in, and it kills a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner shall be put to death. If a ransom is imposed on him, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is imposed on him. If it gores a man's son or daughter, he shall be dealt with according to the same rule. If the ox gores a slave, male or female, the owner shall give to their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. When a man opens a pit, or when a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make restoration. He shall give money to its owner, and the dead beast shall be his. When one man's ox butts another's, so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and share its price, and the dead beast also they shall share. Or if it's known that the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has not kept it in, he shall pay ox for ox, and the dead beast shall be his. Okay, so yes, the mountain, that cloud, I don't see, it is moving, but it's moving very slowly. Actually, it's moving, can't imagine, it looks as if it's moving in that direction. And if that is true, then at least there are lower clouds behind it. Then we might see more of the mountain. But then again, it might be optical illusion, and that this cloud is actually moving in this direction, and then we might even see less of that mountain.